What's the problem? You got a tub clog or a sink clog or something? It's kind of gross, but for me, it's just another day at the office. I've been working here for just over 10 years now. Over here is the steam room. I come in here every day. It's not that luxurious, however, it's part of the job. But I'm not only just a superintendent in this building. I'm a professional wrestler. Malta is the name. Damage is what I do. That's the Damager, baby! When I was a boy, about 7, 8 years old, I used to watch on TV. My uncle, the Baron Mikel Cicluna, he started wrestling in the 60s. He was the #1 contender for 3 years and headlined all over the world. He was very instrumental in training Hulk Hogan. You know, he fought Andre the Giant over 50 times. We went to see my uncle in 1979 in Madison Square Garden. This was the moment that changed my life about dreaming to become a professional wrestler. I mean, God, I was a little kid. And here I am seeing Chief Jay Strongbow with the feathers and his brother Jules walking around. And I met them, and I met Andre the Giant, and I met the Samoans, and it had the biggest impact on my life. They'd be trying to show you what the good moral of the story is. You know, the good guy would be down, but eventually, good triumphs over evil. And it kind of, that lesson in itself kind of sticks with you, especially if you're in a hopeless, helpless situation. I grew up in a poor neighborhood in Astoria. This is the hood over here. Astoria, Queens. This used to be a 24-hour heroin spot. One day, some thugs were rolling through the neighborhood, pulled out a sawed-off shotgun on my friend and shot him in the back. This is the apartment building where I used to live in. We all lived up there in this tiny little apartment. My parents had a bedroom, my brother Mike had a bedroom, and me and my brother Dave shared the couch in the living room. It's a junior high school where I went to school. If you could survive 3 years of school in this place at the time that I went to school here, you could survive anything. There was like 3 white kids in my whole grade. And it was the joke, everyone to pick on the white boy who was just trying to fit in. One day, I realized that it's time to stand up, and nobody was gonna knock me down. So when I came walking to school, this kid drop kicked me in my back for no reason. I fell down. But I got up and I chased him. I lifted him up off the ground with my middle finger up his nostril. And I punched him in the face so freaking hard that he broke open like this under his eyes. His eyes just gashed open. All of a sudden, it's everybody against the white boy. I punched some dude in the face and clotheslined some other dude that was in the way. The teachers came out, they tried to pull me away. I pushed the teachers off me. It was crazy. And nobody wanted to be the next person to get hit by me. I became like a Rambo in the school, letting them know that it's retribution time for Malta.
When we were growing up, we were lucky enough to have a crew that we could dominate this area that was basically swimming with sharks.
Just like old times. Yo, how many guys you think attacked you guys in the projects? Hundreds. Yeah. I have glass in my eye. I still got the big scar over here.
But the bottom line is,
we got retribution.
Exactly.
That's how it was. That's how it was in the neighborhood. I could have just been a statistic in jail, and I could easily be a bigot and hate people who picked on me, but I don't. Instead, I got ethics, I got morals, I got priorities. All you need to do to become the person who you want to be is just have one person who really believes in you. For me, it was my wife, Danielle. We have a storybook love fantasy, kind of like Buttercup and Wesley from The Princess Bride. I actually used to be the handyman of the Flatiron building. I was in the lobby, and you know, here I see what would be my future wife, Danielle, for the first time walking in a crowded lobby. But to me, it was as if nobody was there, because I swear, all the sound went away and all the people disappeared, and all I could see was my Danielle, you know? Here I am, a kid who grew up in the streets of Astoria. Now I'm going out with a beautiful lady who comes from like a really good family, but she could see the good person inside of me through the facade. We've been married now for 11 years. We got 2 beautiful kids, which is a product of our love. We have a beautiful home in Digman's Ferry, Pennsylvania. I live here, they live there, and I go up on the weekends for 2 days when I'm off. I'm very passionate about professional wrestling, but the greatest title that I'll ever hold in this world is being a husband and being a father to my wife and to my kids. We used to sit down all the time watching wrestling, and I used to tell my wife, I could do this, I could do that. One day she was like, well, if you can do it, why don't you go out and do it? I believe that you can do it. So for me, she was really, really instrumental.
And now, one of the things about Malta is, for a man his size, he's deceptively fast and agile, too.
This is my son Dominic's room. This is Dominic and I's wrestling collection. I say I because, you know, when I was a kid, I didn't have toys. Most of these guys up over here are all the old school. One of the first Hulk Hogan action figures that ever came out. Ric Flair, Stone Cold Steve Austin, the Wild Samoans, Andre the Giant. Here's the Ugandan Giant Kamala, who I had a match against this guy. Those are the characters that really fascinated me in wrestling. When you see these characters, they certainly do differ and stray away from the characters that you're seeing on TV today. What wrestling is today is a high-impact stunt show. Bleed fest matches, guys cutting themselves open, women walking around dressed like prostitutes and stuff like that. What kind of example are they setting to kids? But that's what these kids today are growing up on, that wrestling. They don't know the wrestling that I grew up on. Guys like my uncle, they'd be trying to show you what the good moral of the story is. It was a wholesome thing. That's what prompted us to come out with this family wrestling entertainment.
Thank you all for coming down here for Family Wrestling Entertainment. You know, this company is more than just a name, it is a family.
We're trying to bring it back to the way it's supposed to be. For the people like me who grew up on it and wanted to see the good against bad, and, you know, the good guy be down, but eventually somewhere down the line, he'll get his retribution, and the good will triumph over evil, and the moral examples it sets. That's what the whole purpose of our company is, to have a show that my kids can come to.